What's up, guys? Dave Nader 1, 2, and 2 is another deck profile for you guys. Today we're going to do, I don't know, Spiral Dark Magicians. Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy, but it actually works pretty well. It gets tons of advantage, and it's actually quite a fun deck to play, so let's check it out. Alright guys, let's get started. This is Spiral Dark Magicians. It's actually quite an interesting little deck because it has tons of tech in it, and it works a lot better than the crazy monster mash that it actually looks like. Obviously, the main focus of the deck is Dark Magician, and you're going to be summoning him a lot because you are running pretty much the majority of all the Dark Magician support cards, sans Inheritance, because we don't run a lot of spells. No, it's kind of dead, so I decided to drop it. Besides the 3 Dark Magician vanillas that we need to run the deck, we also have the 2 Illusion Magics, which are search cards specifically for him. It's a quick play spell, which is cool, and it distributes 1 spellcaster on the field. He's like, 1 spellcaster, see? And a little artwork there. Next we have Dark Magic Circle, probably the most expensive main deck card we're running, which is really annoying because Dark Magicians aren't tier 1, so why the hell is this thing like 30 bucks? Basically, it's his in-theme Pot of Duality, which is really cool. You look at the top 3 cards of your deck, you don't actually have to show them to your opponent, which is cool, unlike Pot of Duality, but you can only add Dark Magician cards, so like a Dark Magician or any of these guys that do stuff with specifically Dark Magician, so it's kind of a crapshoot. But so we got to run at least a high count of them in order to get this thing to actually function. The cool thing is it does have a continuous effect, which is really neat. When a Dark Magician is normal or special summoned, you can target 1 card on the field and you can banish that target. So it's kind of a little field control card. It's actually really good, and it kind of makes the deck work, basically giving Dark Magician a summon ability. Then we have the 2 Eternal Souls. This lets you summon 1 Dark Magician from your hand or graveyard every turn, or add your Dark Magic attack, which is in-theme Harpy's Feather Duster, but you have to control Dark Magician. This card is just the tits. But the most important card in the entire support we're running is the 3 Magicians Navigate. This is pretty much what ties the entire deck together, because it lets you special summon 1 Dark Magician from your hand and 1 level 7 Dark Spellcaster from your deck. Which brings us to our Spiral Master Plan is the specific target in this deck for our Magicians Navigate. She's really cool because when she hits the field, you can add 1 Spiral Magician card from your deck to your hand. I'm not running anyway because the only one we have so far is kind of bad, but in theory it would let you get more advantage. And when she hits the graveyard, you can add 1 Spiral Zort from your deck to your hand, as well as 1 Spiral Monster, except yourself, but you know, no monster can ever search itself, so that's not unusual. Leading to some really dopey plays with things like your Magician's Rod. If you, let's say, tribute Magician's Rod to activate your Illusion Magic, and then you now have Dark Magician in hand, you can then activate Magician's Navigation, which is not unusual to have both of these, to summon this guy and this girl. If you also have the Dark Magic Circle, you get to do a little pop thing, and because you activated a trap card on your opponent's turn, Magician's Rod will activate, and you contribute your Master Plan to send her to the graveyard to add not only the 2 Dark Magician cards, but also 2 Spiral cards. It's just a lot of plus simply by tributing Spiral Master Plan. We have the 1 Spiral Super Agent. He's not super critical for this build of the deck, even though a lot of Spiral cards revolve around him. He's just nice to see. We have Invoker to get to him, which is fine, I guess. When he's special summoned by the effect of a Spiral card, he gets to destroy 1 spell or trap on the field, which is cool. And he can actually summon himself if you guess the type of card on the top of your opponent's deck correctly, a spell, monster, or trap. Obviously, that works well with your Spiral Gear.
We've managed to avoid drowning. Good job.
Drone, because Spiral Gear Drone, when it's normal summoned or special summoned, you can look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck and put them in any order, which is super trolly, and obviously lets you guess this more correctly more of the time, and you can use it to kind of give your opponent's next card to be something really weird, so they have to like draw into something kind of stupid. So it's kind of cool, but we only run it at 1 because it's not super important. However, its damage calculation effect is kind of cool. You can tribute this card, and any of your Spiral monsters that you target with this thing will gain 500 for every card your opponent controls, which is like kind of cool because like your Super Agent will get really big, and there's a little loop you can do. Like with your Quick Fix, when he is normal or special summon, you can add a Spiral Gear, so you can either add Drone or you can add Big Red, which is actually kind of the entire point of the deck we're playing. This kind of ties it together as well as your Magician's Navigation, because when you tribute your Master Plan with your Magician's Rod, you now can't make a rank 7 play because you got rid of 1 of your 7s, except the fact that you did this to add this back to your hand, to add this to your hand, then you normal summon this, then you add this, and this thing summons this thing back from the grave. So look, woody-doo, you got all the plus, and you got to have your cake and eat it too. This thing's essentially just premature burial, but only for your spirals. It has the added bonus of making that spiral immune to battle, which every once in a while actually matters, especially late game. This thing will be very rarely dead, and troll. If you summon your super agent with it, you do get the pop, so lol. Double max D for draw because I had 2 spaces. Ryan suggested this to be Twin Twister because some of the spirals do like to be in the grave, especially Quick Fix. He can summon himself back from the graveyard if this thing's on the field, but nah, I want to go fast. Gotta go fast! And it wouldn't be a deck that Ryan and I worked on if he didn't manage to weasel his Speedroids into here.
And take in twice a day, morning and evening.
You stick it in your ass! However, they do serve a pretty essential role. With access to MX Saber Invoker, Levier the Sea Dragon, and Totem Bird, you have a nice little rank 3 pool to go into, as well as some synchro plays with Formula and Stardust Charge Warrior to get a little more draw power. And if you are not going to play this as super TCG legal, but maybe a little OCG legal just online, you have Winwitch Winterbell, which this thing can actually summon Dark Magicians from your hand, which is just really kind of cool during your opponent's battle phase, meaning it combos extremely well with your Dark Magic Circle. It also gives you a Wind Spellcaster type Synchro Monster to go into, which would be an Illusion Magic target if you need to tribute this thing for Discernment Dark Magicians, but that's less than ideal, but you do have the option. With your machine dupe, you can go into your Spiral Quick Fix, which lets you do all the combos to get all the searches, because he's not once per turn, so if you summon more than one in a turn, you just get all the searches. You can bleed through your entire deck with this damn thing.
No! No way!
As well as letting you go into your rank 1s, which we have Slacker Magician, Utopia Roots, and our Ghost Trick Dullahan. You could put Downer Magician or Soiled Angel in here if you wanted to, because you can just slap those over these things. Cool thing about Slacker Magician is, besides all the memes, is that she is a spellcaster, which lets you go from your rank 1 Spiral Engine back into Dark Magicians, because you need a spellcaster on field in order to use Illusion Magic. Rounding out the extra deck is all your rank 7s, because you're going to be going into your Ebon Illusion Magician almost every single duel, almost all the time. It's super good. You summon Dark Magician from the deck, you get a free banish with this thing. Then if you attack with the Dark Magician, this thing can banish another thing. You just banish all the things. It's super good. Yeah, we got Big Eye, steal your opponent's crap, because Big Eye is still a really good card, you know. He doesn't get a lot of love anymore, but he's really good. Just like Dracosack. Dracosack's phenomenal, but again, no one gives him love. But every once in a while, you can make that rank 7 pay to pop one last back row, and you go into swing. So that's really good. He kills himself, but whatever. It's kind of like the rank 7 version of Diamond Direwolf at this point. And if you can actually have room for the tokens, which I almost never do, lol, just for the hint, it's not too bad. You can kind of wall up. And then you got the Trolley Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon in order to basically cowboy your opponent for game. Alright, that was the deck. There's still some stuff I kind of want to do with it, but overall it's kind of where I want it to be. It's a lot of fun to play, so let's watch it duel. Alright guys, this first one is against the Paleozoic Burgostoma Tree Toad deck. I'm not exactly positive that this guy's build is good, or if he's actually good at the decks. I have really no idea what any of them do, and it's pretty obvious when you watch me play this game, because I do end up actually losing this duel, mostly due to naivete of the deck. However, I did make some kind of dumb plays, because I kept using Drone, and actually knowing what my opponent was going to get, and then attacking anyway into battle traps I knew existed, because I was like half paying attention. But it does kind of show off what the deck can do if you don't actually get much of your Dark Magician engine going, because it does every happen once in a while. Like, the deck is either, and this is something I've noticed during testing, either it's like go +4 and like totally blow your opponent out of the water, or completely brick out the ass. And it's something that Ryan and I are actually really desperately trying to tease out of the deck, because yeah, cool, going +4 is awesome and it looks really good, and in a replay it looks fantastic, but the problem is, you know, you get duels like this where all you do is see your dumb spirals, and really all you can do is make a bunch of subpar rank 1 plays if you're not playing like Argent Chaos and actually able to go into something useful. However, it does get advantage still, because every time you summon a quick fix you do get to search something, so that's kind of cool. However, like I said, yeah, rank 1s aren't very good, and if you got rank up magic, that's fine, but I don't, so boo. But anyway, we do kind of exchange blows here, though, which is kind of fun. And it does look cool, and it's kind of fun to see this trap monster deck actually work, because it is kind of interesting. Basically, the way it works is every single time you activate one of the monsters as a trap, they all have different meta-style traps. Like one's I think one's like an MST, one's a Phoenix Chain, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't read them in a long time, but they have, you know, decent trap effects. But when one of them activates, if there's another one in your graveyard, it'll summon itself to the field. So that's why Waboku got one onto the field. So it's actually kind of a really interesting play style, and I think Tree Toad was pretty much the only thing that the deck was lacking, because the Burgostoma or Paleozoic monsters themselves, their Exceed monsters are okay. They're support cards for the deck, but they're not actually like meta defining like Tree Toad is. So I think, you know, there's nothing wrong with the deck at all. It just simply needed a boss monster, and it's finally got one. And here I am attacking into a Fire Force that I knew he had, so that was pretty scrubby of me. Although it did let me recycle my Spiral Super Agent, so it kind of looked like I knew what I was doing. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. I absolutely forgot that I had saw his next 3 cards, because I will never argue that I'm actually very good at this game at all. I'm a better deck builder than I am a player. That's clearly obvious from how this is all working, but, you know, it did actually make some fun plays, and I remembered you could actually normal summon Terratop, which is something you almost never do, and let me get my little drone back in an attempt to, what do you call it, get Super Agent back on the field, but I got hit by that Poseidon Wave thing that I knew existed, and it got me. Boo, Dave. Way to suck. This next one's against Ryan, and he's playing a Sub-Terror deck that he modified. It was one that one of my subscribers sent me. I actually don't remember his name offhand, but it's actually a neat little deck. It does some cool stuff with the, what do you call it? Prediction Princess Ritual Monster, which makes a lot of sense in a deck that are a bunch of giant flip effect monsters. And it actually really does a good job at mitigating all the advantage that my deck actually does generate. Because as you can see, like, you know, I've already gone like +1 or 2 at this point, and still didn't matter. He managed to blow out all my back row. Oh boy, Ryan. This ended up actually being a really, really good game, and it's a damn shame that it actually timed out on us, because I was thinking of what to make. I was thinking of what play to make. I think like circa turn 10 or so, and I wasn't really watching the stop clock, and it totally timed out on us. It was really lame, because it's actually a really good duel. Basically, I think what was really stunning me and keeping me from making the big plays was that I managed to draw into both of my Spiral Master plans. And this is actually a problem, because you don't really want to summon a Magician's Rod with your Navigation. It doesn't really do any good, because what you want to do is you want to use Navigate to summon Dark Magician and Master Plan from the deck, and then use a graveyard-ridden Rod to send the Master Plan to the graveyard to add Rod back, and then Master Plan will add 2 more cards, so you've gotten all the advantage. But because I couldn't make that play, I was kind of making a bunch of suboptimal moves to try to get around his bunch of monsters. And that thing is a, what do you call it, a quick play monster, meaning he can just like Book of Moon stuff or unbook a Moon stuff, and it's like really frustrating. You have to play around the dumb thing, and this copious amounts of flipping my monsters and flipping his back face down to get all these damn bounce and popping effects was really, really putting a damper on my day. However, we managed to keep staying in the duel because we just kept throwing advantage at each other. It was really crazy. Like, I kept drawing and he kept summoning. So, like, we kept basically just breaking each other's boards. And then here's where I'm actually in a bit of a dilly of a pickle, and I think this is where it times out. Oh no, I max CM, that's right. Because this deck actually, for basically being a bunch of giant flip effect monsters, does special summon quite a bit. And here it is. I'm like, alright, I'll make a synchro play going into, I believe I go into Charge Warrior in order to draw a card, hoping for that Regeki, didn't get it. And then the timeout, I was so upset. This duel was so good. And this last one's against Destiny Heroes, the new Destiny Heroes with this thing and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. I'm not sure how meta that deck is, but what this duel does do is it actually shows off how the deck was designed to work, not how it ends up working when you're bad at it, like I am. And like I got the Max C off, and he goes into this thingy, and I activate Illusion Magic to search 2 Dark Magicians. I do get some direct damage there, but he can't OTK me because that's just not what his deck does, I think. And I got all the things, so I go into my Terror Top, activating Tick Tongue Board to go into Red Eye Dice, and instead of going into Charge Warrior to draw, I go into Winter Bell. Oh yeah, doing all the stuff, even get that normal summon. I am totally ready for this. So he does this thing's effect. I think it mills something, I don't remember. But I use Winter Bell to summon Dark Magician to banish his guy, and Bottomless Trap pulls me, but I dodge it with another Illusion Magic, like a boss. And I use his Rod to add it back to my hand, getting rid of Winter Bell, because I figured she's never going to work more than once, so she might as well be in the grave, so I can get all the advantage that I don't know what to do with. And I'm like, yes, so my deck's actually working, oh my god. So I got more cards that I know what to do with. But he keeps burning me, which is really annoying because, again, sometimes it doesn't matter if your deck is good or not. All it matters is that your opponent doesn't know what it does and will make weird moves that you can take advantage of. And that was totally me this entire duel. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. But oh yeah, get rid of that Rafflesia and do the little rod thing I was just talking about. Banish that Rafflesia. Oh shit, draw too much. So at this point, you know, I have more cards than I know what to do with. It was actually getting hard clicking the card that I wanted. So, like, yeah, at this point, I think the duel got away from him. He does have that cherries in hand that I really don't think he has anything to do with. And here's me just, like, dicking around, seeing what I could do, making all the damn moves. And he ends up quitting. No! Alright guys, that was the deck and the duels. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun to play and it's something different. And I'm curious to know what you guys think of the deck, and if you guys have any fun ideas on how to, like, you know, kind of get the synergy going and stuff like that, leave that down in the comments below. I'm curious to know what you guys think. And as always, remember guys, if you don't troll the meta, who will? I'll see you guys next time.